guys? My name is Rage and we are back today once again with a continuation video of my Dark Dimension 4 playthrough in the next node now. This is going to be the exact same roster that I've utilized, so I'll just quickly show you guys quickly here the gear level, tier level. As you can see, I've maximized Kestrel to the utmost abilities. Everything's been upgraded just because she's so utilized in the end game aspect of the game. Next, we have Hela. You can see that I got T4s on both her ultimate as well as her passive. Having Greg available is very useful for just shouldering damage as well as being able to spread negatives thanks again to her ultimate, as well as the level 5 ISO 8 Raider on her. Next, we got Proxima Midnight here, providing support with her offense down and a handy stun. You can see I've T4'd both her special as well as her passive. Next, we got Minerva here, bringing her a handy revive just to keep us sustained, as well as her ultimate's always much appreciated in battle, especially given that it scales extremely well in Dark Dimension. And then last but not least, to round off our team, it is going to be Silver Surfer here. And as you can see, similar to Kestrel, just both of them being, the new meta in the game, being quite powerful and formidable. Everything's been maxed out for Silver Surfer on that respect. That being said, you guys, those are the 5 that I'm bringing on board. So let's dive right in now to the gameplay. Consistent with my previous nodes, you guys, I do have Proxima Midnight and Minerva placed on opposite corners of each other, just due to the fact that generally allies that are placed in the corner spots get attacked the least. Kestrel's in the middle because she's just so tanky and she can take up a lot of damage. And as well, you guys, I want to just take the second to highlight Dutch Rudder's Dark Dimension 4 guide, which I will be referencing throughout this video, just because this is really what kind of guided me along, and I'm hoping the combination of that guide along with the visual reference of my videos can provide some insight here for this node. So as you can see here in the beginning, they do highlight that Venom and Vision are able to actually repeat their ultimates. So both two characters that we have to be wary of. On top of that, the key targets that we do need to take down is going to be Rocket Raccoon, Star-Lord, as well as Venom. Just due to the fact that they have a blind, they have ability block, and Rocket Raccoon does AoE damage. So just those are the 3 that we have to be careful on. So starting off here, just trying to do a little bit of damage. Can't really do much with Minerva, but with Silver Surfer here, this is the reason why I brought him on our team, just because of his handy ultimate and actually being able to ability block here. And honestly speaking, this is one of the best combinations you can do by applying the ability block on one of the Star-Lords. Next, I'm actually going to use Kestrel's special here to give her the defense up, offense up, all those benefits. But if you're able to stick on one of those ability blocks, you can see now this is the reason that we have Hela activating her ultimate. She can spread ability blocks to all these different enemies, and this is a very beautiful situation that we want, because now the enemies are really stuck just being able to AoE attack us, and they can't really do anything else besides that. So now we can go ahead, finish off one of the Star-Lords as you see there. And next off, I do actually start focusing, taking down Rocket Raccoon. Just keep in mind, he's obviously really squishy. And the nice thing about Minerva is that when she's near the brink of death, you can see with her ultimate, because Dark Dimension scaling with health percentage, this is the reason why we bring her, because she's got that revive, and her damage is very phenomenal because it's health focus. That takes down now 2, Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord being taken. We can take down the rest of this wave before the next wave spawns, but again, just be mindful of taking down the Star-Lords, because I do find Star-Lord and Venom, just because they can blind and ability block. Those are the 2 that you might want to focus prior to taking down tankier guys such as the Thing and as well as Colossus. And at this point, yeah, just take your time, because I do like the one aspect of Dark Dimension 4 that's different from Dark Dimension 3 is that generally they'll allow us to actually clean up most of the waves, so we can finish off these 4 now. But again, just keep in mind, along as those 3 were taken down earlier, the Rocket Raccoon as well as Star-Lord, it definitely makes it a lot easier for us, because now we can just kind of keep focusing our damage. And then keep in mind, when it's down to the last 2-3 targets, that's when you generally want to save your energy for the next wave. So as you can see here, I did leave Colossus for the last, just because he is the tankiest after we cleaned up the other 3. And with this next wave, it's going to be a little bit dangerous, because you're going to see that we're going to be up against a Venom, we're going to be up against Carnage, Falcon, Hawkeye, Jessica Jones, who we need to be wary of, because she can actually cleanse negative conditions, as well as Killmonger. And consistent with the first wave, Venom is also once again able to repeat his ability, so we just got to be careful there. That being said, if there's another situation where we can use a ability block and then spread it again with Hela, that's exactly what we do want to do. And we want to take down Falcon as one of the key targets, just because Falcon's got that speed up that can provide a lot of benefit to the team. Once again, using Hela's ultimate here to spread the ability block, and as you can see, all of them now have all these negative conditions, which is very, very favorable for us. Keep in mind too, you guys, the next wave actually spawns at 25 enemies, so this one's a little faster paced than the first wave, where we were able to clear the first. So that's why I would highly recommend on taking down both Venom and Falcon. Even though Jessica Jones has the cleanse, Venom, the fact that he's got an ability block and Falcon having speed up, you know, I would prioritize those two. And you see now with this new wave, there is a set of Daredevils as well as a Hawkeye. For me personally, I don't like the fact that Killmonger does damage, so I do actually focus on the damage dealers first before the utility. And again, we're not too worried about Jessica Jones just because she is ability blocked right now, so there's no way she's clearing these negative conditions. And again, that's thanks to the combination of Hela and Silver Surfer. So if you guys do get a chance to bring them for Dark Dimension 4, I would highly recommend it. It's just unfortunate that Hela does cost quite a bit of materials, so keep that in mind. Killmonger goes down, so now we can actually just go ahead, control the situation. Proxima Midnight has offense down and a handy stun, so really kind of gauge the situation as it is. For me, you know, it's preventing damage dealers such as Hawkeye from using his blind as well as his bleed, so that's why I did stun him there. And as the Hawkeye on the left is quite weaker, I'm going to focus him first, finishing him off. And the combination of Minerva with Hela is just very beautiful, because every time that our Gregs go down too, there's always additional healing for both Hela and Minerva. So increases Minerva's speed meter, as well as gives Hela additional health, just because of the fact that she also gains regen whenever the Gregs fall. Now, that being said, it wasn't my intention, but I saw how weak Luke Cage was, and he does have a defense up for the team. So going ahead, I did finish him off, and then that goes down now. And keep in mind, with this next wave, it is nice that we can actually clear the entire wave before the next wave spawns. So this is going to be similar to the first wave that we initially dealt with. There we go. And if you get to this point where it's only 2 Daredevils, a Carnage, Hawkeye, and Jessica Jones, you're in pretty good hands. Really just kind of take your time, build up energy once again. But fortunately, we took down all the problem characters, such as the Venoms, Falcon having speed up, as well as Luke Cage having defense up. So not a big deal. And now that we got Jessica Jones down, when it's down to these 4, just take your time. I would just take down, use judgment based on who's weaker. But if there was a choice, Hawkeye and the Daredevils do a lot more damage than Carnage, so I would focus on them before you get ready for the next wave here. And keep in mind to save your energy again, you guys. Don't use up your abilities just to finish up for the next wave, because you can see we are up with another significant cluster. Really, the notable guys are, again, another Falcon and Hawkeye. This time, Hawkeye actually has a special and ultimate that he can repeat. And then Luke Cage and Colossus providing a lot of protection, as well as the Killmonger and Daredevil. So, I mean, just being very mindful of these guys here. But again, you see that I start off with Hawkeye now because of the fact that Hawkeye actually has the repeatable abilities. And again, the same setup and situation. We want an ability block and then use the Hela spread negative once again. I will never get sick of doing this, just because you can see how devastating it is to the enemy team. Just inflicting all those negative conditions, really giving us that huge significant advantage over the other team. Now Hawkeye down. That's 16 out of 34 enemies left. And with this wave, kind of similar to wave 2, we can only actually take down another enemy before the next wave spawns. And that cluster is going to be made up of a Carnage, a Venom, and a Vision. So in this case, I do opt to actually focus Falcon, just because he's got the speed up. And that's something I don't want to deal with in the next wave here. Finishing off Falcon, you're going to see, as I mentioned, the cluster here of the 3 being added to this initial wave. In my personal opinion, I would focus on any of the enemies that are kind of weaker here, but personally, I would focus on Venom, just because he's got the ability block, and we just don't want him stopping us from repeating and using our abilities as we push them forward. So while I am focusing Venom here and just kind of making sure that we use our natural damage here, again, keep in mind, with Kestrel being on our team, anytime we hit someone with the defense down, it also applies another additional strike from Kestrel. So it's just absolutely beautiful. So try to attack as many enemies as you can with the defense down, especially if you have Kestrel on your side. Going ahead here, we just finish off Venom. And at this point, if it's down to this 6, I would actually recommend just taking down high damage dealers such as Killmonger. And then after those 2 are down, it's gonna be pretty smooth sailing, just due to the fact that these are the main damage dealers for this wave. There we go, that's 1 down. And now we go ahead and again keep repeating the abilities with Kestrel, just targeting any enemies with defense down, because this is going to chain and attack the enemy with the lowest health, and it's just absolutely beautiful damage if you actually have her. She's just so tanky. She's got a high offensive output, and she really just takes up a lot of damage for our somewhat squishy team, especially made up of Hela as well as Greg and Minerva and Proxima. With Luke Cage down, it's just down to these 4 now. And again, we'll repeat Kestrel special, just giving her those benefits, and just absolutely such a monster in Dark Dimension. You know, she doesn't really help her team a lot in terms of being able to give them support, but she does so much damage. She soaks up damage, and at that point, that provides enough and what we need, especially for these Dark Dimension 4 nodes. And at this point, when it's down to these 3, just take your time, build up your energy, try to leave Colossus for last if you can, just because he's the tankiest, he doesn't do damage, and just take your time leading up to the last wave. And just because of how my damage actually chained with Kestrel's passive, you can see Carnage was actually the last one for me. So whichever Carnage or Colossus, whoever gets to be last, you know, that's fine. You can see this last wave has a combination of a couple things. There's 2 visions, Jessica Jones that can cleanse, as well as a Human Torch and Daredevil. And for this one, we got to be mindful of the Human Torch because he's the one that does a lot of damage. And same with Jessica Jones having the cleanse. So, but I would, in my opinion, the first one you need to take down is Human Torch, just because of his dangerous ultimate ability and the fact that he can do a lot of damage if we're not careful. So that is why I went ahead and actually ability blocked him, so that way he can't do anything. And you bet we're going to try to do our combination attack with spreading the negatives, but unfortunately I didn't really want to take that chance there, so I just wanted to finish off Human Torch. I didn't really want to wait it out for Hela's turn. But that's okay. With Human Torch down, you know, gets definitely a lot easier, because when you look at this mixture, they don't actually have a lot of damage dealers, which is good. And now that we got Jessica Jones actually stunned, at this point, it's really just kind of feeding off the energy of our team and just really taking down whoever's weak and making sure that our Kestrel's passive is activating every time we target the enemies with the defense down. Now, because Vision does have an ability block, I would recommend just taking down one of them, especially if you have time bought with the fact that Jessica Jones is stunned and she doesn't have her cleanse available. Fast forwarding, save you guys a little bit of time. You can see here at this point, I do go ahead and finish off Jessica Jones. And honestly speaking, when it's down to these last 4 here, being Daredevil, Vision, as well as the 2 things, it's pretty smooth sailing, you guys. Just keep in mind too, as you just saw right there, the thing actually just one-shotted our Proxima Midnight. So it's still important to be mindful not to drop your guard. Thankfully, we got Minerva's revive there to actually prepare and actually have Proxima Midnight back to Earth here. But if you can actually apply the offense down on them and try to prevent them from actually attacking us again, as you can see here, I do focus on Daredevil quite a bit, just due to the fact that, you know, he's faster paced in the thing, and in my opinion, he's a bigger threat. But so as long as you're able to shoulder the burden and the damage from the thing, it's not a big deal. And then following that up, you can see here now we do have almost one of the things finished off here, and then it's just leaving Vision as well as one of the things here, just to be the last 2. At this point, save up energy. If anybody goes down, you see how the thing just took down our Greg. Thank you very much. At this point, build up your energy and get ready for the next wave, you guys, because keep in mind here, the next node, it does carry forward here in terms of what energy we use. Once again, you can see that the thing loves picking on my Proxima Midnight, and it is what it is. You know, I kept trying to revive her, but it's the AI that does keep targeting her, because she is technically the most squishiest ally on my team. As you can see, 3rd time's a charm. I do go ahead and actually bring her back just to get her ready. And to be honest with you, if it's like the last wave where you guys are just using that ability to bring her back just so you don't have to refresh, I don't know if I'd recommend it, just due to the fact that now my Minerva doesn't have her revive starting in the next node here. So just play by ear. You know, at the end of the day, sometimes maybe it's easier to just refresh, either using the Dark Dimension energy. But as you guys can see, another one-shot at 10 here in finishing the now node 8. So as you can see there, so far one shot on all my nodes. As you can see, 36.91 million damage. And as per usual, I do like showing you guys my achievement records, because I was able to start Dark Dimension 4 at 416 days. Excuse me, 516 days. So 7 days lapped, and as you can see, now we are now officially done 8 nodes of Dark Dimension 4. Thank you as always, you guys. Do appreciate you checking my videos, and as always, I will see you in the next one.